Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on the fan right now, in the fold-out chair, Mr. Scotty Prince. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me,
Much
Mossy.
appreciated.
Good to see you.
Now, we like to start with quirky stats or weirdness.
Okay.
Here's one to go with. In the days of post-try celebrations, there is an absolute standout. My mind's eye, I can shut my eyes and I can picture you doing the six guns for the Cowboys, the kid. Mate, that's a kid being a kid in the backyard, and you got to do it in the main show.
Yeah, I guess, you know, that year, I know the footy show was hosting a bit of a competition, and I thought, well, those times, you know, the Cowboys weren't winning much, so when I got the opportunity to score a try, I thought of reflection back on my days at Mount Isa and, you know, the gunslinger, and I think I rode the ball at one particular stage as well, against Penrith, so it's a reflection of the Mount Isa rodeo. So,
great moments.
Yeah,
great. You did
fun.
it so well. You did it so well, man. I'm surprised it didn't lead to something bigger for you in the acting cape.
Oh, no, I've tried that too. No good.
No good, no. We could have it as like, you know, a little compartmentalise the whole career chat, because it's Cowboys, it's Broncos, it's Tigers, it's Titans, and it's a little bit of Broncos again, and there's a bit of Queensland, a bit of Australia in there. Yeah. When you look back on it, what you achieved just to make first grade at the Cowboys from Mount Isa, was that the biggest thing you thought it could be?
Well, yeah, I guess it was. You know, as a kid growing up, all you wanted to do, especially in a rugby league town, community, and region, North Queensland's massive on rugby league. You know, to play one NRL game is certainly the every kid's dream. I mean, certainly for me it was. So, and to play for the Cowboys, you know, my home region, was something special, and to then continue on to play, you know, however many games. Yeah, it was it's. I'll still look back now, and I think, you know, I'm really appreciative and grateful for the fact I did get an opportunity.
No, I love that, because you would have been, I could imagine whaver the local paper is in Mount Isa writing you up every week.
The Northwest Star. There you go.
You must have been front page news plenty of times, you know, our boys first grade again. But the fact is, back then, the Cowboys are the little brother. The Broncos are the Queensland powerhouse. And you go to the Broncos. Yeah. How big was that?
Yeah, it was massive. I remember coming off contract, and, you know, my manager was talking to multiple clubs, and it wasn't until late in the piece when Wayne called my manager and said, well, you know, we want to sign Scotty Prince. So when I got the phone call, or more importantly, my father got the call, and he goes, "Yep, he'll sign." So that's where your father said that? Yeah, that's how it all sort of worked out. So
is that the truth?
That is the truth.
Your
yeah.
dad
So
said he'll sign.
He'll sign.
We'll get to the really good stuff shortly, but there is the bad stuff, the tough stuff. Now, I remember being like the broken legs. Man, I was at ANZ Stadium in Brisbane. I can still hear it now, the crack of your leg. Like, did you think, like, it was such a bad break, and you've had two of them, that could be it? Like, when it first happened?
Well, when it first happened, I didn't know what was going on. I remember playing against Canterbury. It was, you know, Sunday afternoon. Putting the long kick down. I think it was fourth or fifth play, and I remember kicking it, thinking I'll put everything into this because we needed to get out of trouble. And I didn't hear anything at all. I just remember flipping the other way and landing on my back, and then looking down and then just seeing my leg to the side. And then after about, seconds, I could just feel the pain running up my leg. Yes. And the trainer coming out, I think it was Kenny Ra at the time, saying, "Oh, where are you hit? Where are you hit?" And I remember telling him that I politely broke my leg. So, and the pain was just unbearable. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
The sound was like a gunshot at the stadium. I'm telling you, that's how loud it was, the breaking of a bone. I'm sorry to be graphic, but, you know, at that moment, and for it to happen twice, you know, the fan sees you, the player, and, you'll get over injury and that, but mentally, when it happens to you twice, what's that like getting through? Yeah,
well, I guess the second time was probably the hardest. I remember spending 11, 12 months on the sideline, working my way back in the first grade. Coming off the bench, I think it might have been against Parramatta, and big Michael Vella. I think Wayne threw me at hooker, and I made a tackle, had my leg up in the air, and Michael Vella's knee hit me right on the same spot where I broke it the first time, and was enough to put a crack through that spot. Remember walking off, and then, later that evening had a scan done, or an X-ray, and the doc said, "Yeah, you've broken it again, and it's going to rule you out for the rest of the year." And that's that night, or even early the next morning, I remember lying in bed crying, thinking, you know, I'm going to have to give this game away because maybe it's not for me. So I thought I'd give it one more crack, and yeah, I'm glad I did.
Yeah, pardon the pun, but you did. And boy, okay, can we jump ahead to the Tigers? And we'll go straight to the big year. We'll go straight to 05. You had Tim Sheens coaching you.
Yeah.
And I remember Tim's mantra was, if you don't do it at training, you can't do it in the game.
That's right.
I used to go and watch you guys train, and I enjoyed watching the Tigers train, you and Benji doing your thing at train, and Robbie Farah, as much as watching you play.
Yeah.
You were dazzling. That must have been great fun to be part of.
It was awesome. I remember when I signed for the first time, going to the West Tigers, having that relationship already with Tim up at the Cowboys as a youngster, and he gave me my NRL debut, and it was a perfect timing for me. Obviously I would have loved to have stayed at the Bronx, and it's just unfortunate that didn't work out, and I'm really grateful that the West Tigers, in particular, Tim gave me that opportunity to go down and to play alongside some of the brightest young stars at that time with Robbie, Benj, a bit of a Moneyball scenario with Brett Hodgson, Paddy Richards, Scotty Sattler back in 04. And then, yeah, it was a great time. Obviously, 05, we had a young squad. I thought the rules sort of played into our hands a little bit in terms of smaller teams, skillful teams, fast teams, and we were certainly one of those. And at training, we would throw the footy around and let the football sing, and
it fizzed.
Really enjoyed it.
But there can only be one first, and for as long as the game is played and the West Tigers are part of it, the honour board will show first Premiership winning captain, Scott Prince, Clive Churchill medal winner, first time he played grand final, Scott Prince. I mean, they're enormous feathers to have in your cap.
Yeah, when you talk about it like that, you sort of get a little bit embarrassed because I played alongside some great players in that time. So, you sort of look back with some really fond memories, but it's crazy. I try not to look back too far.
Yeah. No, you should though. You should be proud. This is what the fans about. We tell the story. We want it, and I can tell your pride. I can sense how proud you are of it.
Yeah.
But you should be, mate. The Tigers of 05, I reckon, bring a smile to every fan's face. You don't have to be a Tigers fan. It was brilliant to watch.
Yeah. I just realised, and not at the time, but just not knowing how many West Tigers supporters are actually out there.
Yeah.
Until I actually travelled to Queensland and obviously played here at Suncorp against the Broncos and up in Townsville, and they used to come out in their droves. So at that time, it was the Tigers, in particular West Tigers, it was more than just a footy game for them. It's more religion, eh?
Gold Coast, new beginnings, like an enormous venture. The club there, the move there. What's it like being part of a whole new organisation? You'd been through it with the Cowboys, almost, along the way. But the Titans was, it's glitzy Gold Coast, and your marquee.
Yeah, I sort of
pressure.
Yeah, well, I didn't really look at it that way. I just thought, from a personal point of view, I thought it was just a really great opportunity to be part of something brand new. And the Gold Coast Titans coming to the competition, I didn't want it to be a failure like other franchises were back in the day. And, you look along the lines of some of the players that they've signed, in terms of the experience with Presto and, Luke Bailey and Anthony LaFranchi, and there were some really, solid players that will, starting players at those respective clubs prior, but also gave some opportunity to guys who were playing on the fringes as well, off the bench and probably playing in reserve grade without those opportunities. So, the Titans provided a lot with that, but in terms of the lifestyle, the glitz and glamour, is there if you're chasing it, but I think the biggest signing out of it all was old Billy Johnson, our strength and conditioning coach. And I think he made it...
Come back to haunt you.
We made it quite aware that, we're not here for a holiday. So,
beautiful.
I mean, from a personal point of view, he took me places with my training that I've never been before. So it was quite scary in terms of some of those training sessions.
You got to come back to Brisbane to finish your career. Can I ask you, a few random questions around the career? What was your heaviest playing weight, Scott?
Heaviest would have been full kit and fully hydrated, would have been 82 kilos.
82?
Yeah.
Right, OK.
So 05, I think, would have held the trophy at about 79, 80 kilos.
There you go.
Yeah, so...
Now seriously, because you're talking to someone who never laced up a boot in the NRL.
Yeah.
Little bloke, the game gets bigger, faster, stronger. Was there ever fear? When you're standing there in front line, because a lot of attacks direct, OK, let's attack, let's make work over Scott Prince in defence. That would be a tactic.
Yeah.
Let's find which side he's defending on and go at him.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I had a knack of sort of hiding a little bit too. I think, Tim's pretty smart coach, and I played a lot, obviously, under Tim, and so he used to move me out into the centres, coming out of trouble when opposition teams were coming out of their end. So I didn't have to burn a lot of energy in regards to tackling. So it just kept me fresh when, we had the football. So I understood that, I was a bit of a target defensively, but in saying that too, on the flip side, I remember Dave Taylor run at me. He goes, "I'm going to be running at you all night."
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, well, remember when I got the footy, I'm coming at you too, because I know you're a lazy defender.
So nice.
Like, it's, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and that's just the way footy goes.
Okay, goal kicker, field goal kicker. Do you love the pressure of those? They were extra responsibilities you had. There's a few field goals in there we could roll in.
Yeah, the field goals probably weren't my greatest strength. I think I missed more than I actually nailed, but goal kicking I really enjoyed. I enjoyed that extra pressure, and I think it was just a matter of, if the game was on the line, I'd want to be the one that would take that shot. So I don't know whether you call it a control freak or whatever, but certainly love that the pressure of that.
And briefly to talk about it, the kid from Mount Isa gets to play for Queensland. The name Prince on the back, gets to play in the green and gold for Australia. What did that mean to the kid from Mount Isa, that he achieved those dreams?
Yeah, I'm still sort of really appreciative and grateful for those opportunities. I think, if you spoke to Michael Hagan, who was my first coach back in '04 when I first got the gig, in Queensland, he couldn't take the smile off my face. I was so happy. It reminded me, because obviously the junior club that I played for in Townies, in Mount Isa, was maroon and white, and it reminded me like that, but obviously, it's a whole different stratosphere in terms of representing Queensland, the people of Queensland. So, and then playing for Australia is just another level in itself. So to represent your country at any sport or anything for that matter is an absolute honour. Well,
Scotty, it's great to have you on the show. A bloke that looked like he enjoyed playing footy, and he had some setbacks, but I still remember the six-shooter. That's it, Scott Prince, the master.
Thank you, Vossy, appreciate it.
I'm a fan.
Thank you, mate.
Well done,
Very
mate.
good to chat to you. Hey, good to see you, Vossy.
Good stuff.